Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholayim La, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachach Dash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth, and just want to say the water toward the H.I.M and Akwaf. That's all here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Zachanan Nawach. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. This is one of the National Guard soldiers that was gunned down in D.C. yesterday. Her name is Sarah Beckstrom, and her father says she won't survive mortal wound. So you can see her right there in the picture. She's clearly the smallest one in the picture when it comes to those guys. And these women are so at ease in Western society that they can actually join these militaries. Don't have to really do shit, but kick back, collect a check, get housing, food, decent benefits and shit like that, and can just get banged out by whoever they want to get banged out, have as many abortions as they want throughout that time period, and shit, get a GI Bill or something, get a free education, get a house, whatever. This is the world that we live in. And I'm willing to bet you, had she known what was going to happen to her ass, she would have preferred to have stayed at home. Probably would have, fell in love with that boy down the street, that was the geeky boy that always liked her and loved her. Some guy probably on the block right now, her street, crying his heart out because he loved her so much and she wouldn't give him the time of day. Anyway, though, it's me speaking as a man, but let's you can just get a little bit of the article. Gary Beckstrom, the father of National Guard member Sarah Beckstrom, shares some heartbreaking news about his daughter's condition after she was shot just a few blocks away from the White House. Speaking from her hospital room on Thursday, he told the New York Times she has a mortal wound. It's not going to be a recovery. I'm holding her hand right now. She's 20 years old. See? Young, you know what I'm saying? Here in America, you know what I'm saying? By the time you hit 20, in the ancient world, man, she'd have had like 6, 7 kids possibly. But here you go in the Western world, here in the Americas, motherfucker can go to the military and was just standing around overall, you thinking, it's just, I'm not going home for Thanksgiving, but they probably was laughing and giggling, wasn't paying no fucking attention, and let this clown walk up on them. You're supposed to be protecting the safeness, and Trump talking about how safe D.C. is, but the very people you sitting there to actually keep it safe, they standing out there and get gunned down in broad daylight. She was probably giggling along with homeboy. Through. Okay, so the guy was 24. They probably liked each other too. They were both critically injured in what officials are calling an ambush and an act of terrorism on Wednesday. Well, you're supposed to be on watch. You ain't supposed to be getting ambushed. Shit. They were in Washington as a part of President Donald Trump's new initiative where National Guard units took over some policing duties. Now, got people in the comment boards. This is her right here with her dad. He's so proud. He back there with that Hulk Hogan motherfucking mustache. But I'm willing to bet you he would have rather had talked his daughter out of doing that stupid shit. You got these guys, they have these recruiters. I remember they used to come to the schools and they just prey on your children, man. I remember my grandmother, she wasn't having that shit. She told us straight up, you better not. You get into this man's military, don't ever come back to my house. she was serious about that shit too. So the alleged shooter was 29-year-old. Of course, he's from Afghanistan. He ended up, hey, you think that they would have caught him at the Home Depot raid, one of them ICE raids. You know why they didn't? Because they're not focused on people like this. They're not focused on these other nations that's here in the Americas, as immigrants. Trump calling them aliens. They're only focused on the Israelites, man. Right? So, we're not feeling sorry for any of this shit. I'm not. Let me grab a quick script real fast that kind of goes into that. But you got people in the comment boards, they feel sorry and all that other little stuff like that. Well, has she been, at fucking home and not trying to handle a man's position, that wouldn't have happened to her. Get Sirach 12 and 13. It says, who would pity a charmer that is bitten with the serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? And this basically is talking about who would pity somebody that's doing something stupid as fuck, in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Because that's stupid. Stupid as hell. But I get it, though, you know what I'm saying? Because America, having children, a woman being a woman being a wife, having a husband and being submissive to the husband, actually doing the duties of a woman, I'm willing to bet you she's a Christian, too. That shit is gone. So she really has no choice but to, she going with the flow of what Esau set up, which is backwards, because Esau is the wicked, man. And let's get Isaiah. I quoted this, 32, verse 9. Start there. It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. And this is just women in general. I mean, well, it's really talking to you Israelite women, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American women. Which that lady, she could be an Israelite, because it's not a skin color thing. But overall, these women in the Western society and throughout the world almost, America has pretty much covered the world with the disease of their feminism. A few countries still holding out. But overall, these women in America, they're so at ease that they can actually join these agencies like this. And I'm willing to bet you she's just chilling. She's chilling, getting her little pay, doing her little thing, taking selfies and shit. Probably doing some of them dumbass TikTok challenges and shit, dancing with the uniform on. And it says again, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. You're so at ease that you in a country where you can just do shit like that. Because when you think about it, like, what are you supposed to do if you go to war? Like, they got to have separate accommodations for you. They got to have a whole separate bathroom for your ass. They got to have tampons on deck, you know what I'm saying, in case you go on your menstrual cycle, which you're not even supposed to be around nobody. They got to have all these different accommodations for you. And then you're the weaker vessel. I don't give a fuck how many squats you doing there, how strong they made you done pass Esau's test. His little physical bullshit you got to go through, jumping through his little hoops and climbing under, barbed wire through mud and shit like that. That shit don't make no difference when it comes down to, okay, you get caught. You're the weaker vessel. You can clearly see them dudes and three dudes in that picture with her shit. They towering over her by at least 1.5 feet. Anyway, it says, many days, verse 10. Isaiah 32 and 10, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Which in a nutshell, hey, you need to repent. Come down off that high mighty ass horse that you've been on forever. Realize that the Lord created you to be the weaker vessel. Matter of fact, let me get that. It's been a while on that one. Let me see. Yep, 1 Peter 3 and 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. But basically the point, the woman is the weaker vessel, and, it just is what it is. She's not as strong as... I seen a little lady yesterday, man. I'm talking about like a little fucking kid, actually. I was sitting on the porch. I was doing a lesson, and she walked up, and lo and behold, she was the male woman. This chick looked like she was like fucking 12 years old. She was like fucking 4'3". It was cold as shit, so she had on a little bubble coat. But just to look, I'm looking like to myself, like, where the fuck you come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, she was tiny as hell, man. Like, looked like a little fucking kid, literally. It really surprised me. I'm like, damn, that's the male lady? I just kept on doing my lesson and shit, But anyway, what can she do? if somebody was to, open their door and snatch her ass, and anybody could have rolled up the street and snatched her little ass up, man. Dogs, pit bulls is out. Like, what are you gonna do? You're not paying attention. You got your hood over your damn head. You just at ease. You're not looking around. I told her, I seen a chick at the gas station a few weeks back and shit. And, I kind of, I told her that I was kind of rolling away. I rolled my window down. It was just by the spirit. And she didn't get all buck up against me or nothing. She was like, she was thankful. I was like, yeah, because it was dark. I'm thinking like I seen her look. She kind of looked, but she never really, like she wasn't circumspect. She wasn't looking all around her. Like, I'm thinking like, well, shit, it's dark as shit out here. Niggas is out here doing all kinds of crazy shit. You shouldn't even be, When I rolled down my window, I was like, yeah, you better, you should watch out a little bit more. While you out here, people crazy, you know what I'm saying? This, and this, And she's like, yeah, you right. Thanks for the advice. I'm like, yeah, you better start looking around. Be circumspect. Hell, even as men, we got to be circumspect. That, that's for somebody in the spirit. But anyway, these women are they're too at ease, man. Let me get that one. She'll fuck around, she would have came through the ranks. What is that one? No. Is it Second Timothy? First Timothy? Let's get this kind of mixed up. Yep, here we go. 2 Timothy 2:11. Let the women learn in silence with all subjection. Because these women, they go through the ranks and they get these roles and then they be over the men. That's like you got this Christy Nome bitch. You got Pam Bondi in Trump's cabinet. He got a whole bunch of women that's in there in top positions, man, where, those should be men running those positions, man. Verse 12, it says, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. She should have been somewhere 20 years old, bro. And then everybody's supposed to feel sorry and shit, No, ain't nobody feeling sorry for that, man. I get it, you know what I'm saying? Because Esau, especially with Trump with his big, beautiful bill, he's making it harder for these young ladies to, go to college and shit like that, or a lot of people actually, But I guess her best move, and that's how they come in and creep in with the smooth talk and get to talking to you about how you can make this amount of money and these amount of years. You can be here, you can be there, you know what I'm saying? You can be earning, and all this bullshit, and then they fall for it, and then you sign that contract, and that contract is for good. They're not playing about that contract. It's not like you know what I'm saying? You can be like, it's not like a job you just didn't like, and now all of a sudden you just walking away from it. Like, I put in my 2 weeks notice. No, I ain't gonna be none of that shit once you get under this man's grasp, man. So, But this is one of the people. I haven't seen any information on this other guy, supposedly the 24-year-old that was with her. But see, I don't even really want to go into this. I wanted to kind of see if I can zoom in on this picture. Because somebody got this aerial. Now, I haven't seen this on it. Because who the fuck, from this angle right here, and the way that I seen it on the news, it's like, who would have footage like this of them? Because the one that I've been seeing is like from the a street view. This is a higher view up. Yeah, so who knows, man? Esau, he be on all kinds of shit. This could be one of them setups, man. So I won't put nothing past it. But anyway, just wanted to touch on this for a hot second. Hey, you women that's in that military, man, it's gonna get real nasty out here for y'all soon. They fuck around and throw y'all asses because Civil War gonna break out and World War III gonna break out. So whichever one you catch it in, it's gonna just be your day. So yep. With that, I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwame Yashala and the Bible Ball. I didn't get any of the comments. Poor baby, this was 100% on Trump. Yeah, Trump should have, he should have let them people go home for their little bullshit Thanksgiving. She wouldn't have been there. Somebody says you're wrong. Biden did it. So you got a bunch of division, a lot of that bullshit going on. I seen that yesterday as far as, Democrats trying to blame Republicans trying to Blame Democrats. Yeah, if Trump hadn't ordered the National Guard, all would be home for Thanksgiving. Yeah. Democrats are 100% responsible for this. Here's a photo of Afghans who were imported under Biden. Okay, well, if this many motherfuckers if it's this many motherfuckers, right? Look at all these people, and this is just one plane full, which we know is far more than that, right? Why haven't we seen ICE in these neighborhoods? Why haven't we heard about ICE running up on these people? Why haven't we seen ICE, you know what I'm saying, venturing into the places where they be and throwing their asses into the back of vans? See? So nobody give a fuck. Fuck all that. You say President open border policies will haunt us for a long time. Trump granted asylum. So there you go. You know, this, and people are not very informed anyway. They don't really know what's going on. Somebody says that's why it's imperative that Trump remove all illegals from this country immediately, so Democrats can't blame him for every murder and crime they commit, even though the Democrats are the ones who let all of them in. Yeah, right. Nah, people come in on all presidencies. People been coming in this place ever since America's been a country. Ever since them as the immigrants stole this place. You know what I'm saying? So it's people been coming in under Republican and Democratic administrations throughout time. So it's not just a Democratic thing. Yep, the people blaming the President of the United States for this is just as mentally handicapped as the shooter himself. Please seek help. Said, yeah. You mean the same president that's blaming Democrats and all Afghans for this? Well, they're going to lump all y'all asses up in a group like how they lump everybody else up in a group. So you might as well lump all these Edomites, so-called white race, up into a damn group like how they do everybody else. They don't be wanting to hear that. Democrats' fault. Yep, okay. The shooter is the one responsible, nobody else. Somebody says facts. Well, they're going to make it political. Blame the murderer and Trump. National Guard has no business on the streets when local law enforcement does the job daily. I said that. I mean, hey, you got these fucking police stations. They're better equipped than these fucking National Guards. It's the same shit. Overall, you know, they got tanks. They got these fucking motherfuckers can drive a damn car, armored vehicle through your damn house. They battering rams on the front of them bitches, man. Motherfuckers got, all kinds of rifles, man. They got the training. They got bomb squad. They got damn dogs. You know, they got, all kinds of units, man, as far as these police, man. So they don't need the National Guard there. That's just true, anyway. Look at this. Another beautiful woman. Well, that beautiful woman should have had her ass at home. Getting banged out by her husband. Producing some children. If she's one of the so-called white race trying to bring her damn seed, her race back. An American hero. Says another beautiful woman. An American hero. At that is taken away from someone who doesn't belong in the USA. And why are we riding the police trying to protect us Americans? Just guessing it's the fat and lazy Section 8 blue hairs that are out of touch with reality. See? So this place is about to blow. Because it's all kinds of separation, man. I think I went into that yesterday. But let me get this one. I know I was about to end out. Matthew 12:25. And Yahweh knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. All right? Because all of them are Americans, right? Republicans and Democrats. But the way that both sides of the aisle act, they act as if, you know what I'm saying, it's not so. Verse 26, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And see, you got a guy like Trump. He's dividing his own nation. Like, you think that he would stand his doofy ass up at some of them presidential speakings and and try and speak to the people. He may not get every Democrat, you know what I'm saying, but he could have done, more than like if he, he got all this damn talk gang. It's just that's not the way that he running with it. He's literally running with the side that voted him in. He really only considers them to be Americans, and the other 80 or so million, like they not shit to him. Like, dude, this is the same, but they in the same country. They're under the same laws. You won the presidency, so just act as if it's all America. And they may not like what you're doing, but you can at least act as if you're the president of the whole of America. This motherfucker is dividing this bitch up even more. But that's the spirit, you know what I'm saying, that's on him. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is doing that, man. Because the Lord is breaking this place down. That is just a parable. It's almost like the laws of gravity. Motherfuckers can't get along, they're going to break up. That's any rap group. That's any baseball team. That's any basketball team. That's homegirl, homeboy. The scripture says that can two walk together unless they be agreed. And that's just what it is. In Proverbs 21:1, it says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Lord got Trump moving the way that he's moving. And then not only is he fucking over the Americans and separating them, he has separated the whole pretty much EU, NATO / whoever the fuck he fucking with, your megas and your Israelis not getting along. It's a lot of separation amongst these Edomites and amongst these other heathen nations, man. Where it's just gonna boil on down to World War III, and we getting the fuck up out of here, man. So we pray for more and more of this, man. Let them fall into the ditch which they made, because Esau is notorious for discord. Scripture says that the Lord, he hates discord, man. That's an abomination to the Lord. Matter of fact, I'm in there, Proverbs 6, I think it is. Let me do it like this. Yeah, Proverbs 6:16. These 6 things doeth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. That's Esau in a nutshell. And heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift and run into mischief. That's Esau in a nutshell. A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. That's Esau in a nutshell. He causes so much division, now all of a sudden they're being divided. So they're reaping what they sow, like Galatians 6:7. Job 34:29. Beautiful thing, man. Galatians 6:7, be not deceived, Yahweh is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. And they've sown discord for so long, now they're starting to reap that. They're falling into the ditch that they've dug. Looking beautiful, baby. Job 34:29, when he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only. So Esau became the progenitor of the so-called white race today, the Edomites. And as a nation, a whole nation, not just the individuals, but as a whole nation, they are reaping what they have sown, man, for hundreds of years. And it's really coming down on them, man. Like, this man has no idea, like, what's really in his future. And his future is growing and speeding up daily, man. So he's making real stupid ass moves, real rash decisions. I wouldn't even be surprised if they didn't the government didn't have these people off themselves, man. I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that this is one, like a false flag or a psyop to give him the reason to go ahead and send more military in and speed shit up as far as that goes, martial law and all that good little stuff like that, because it's got to happen. And this is a perfect recipe for it. So I'm going to end out there, man. Pray that the lesson was edifying. With that, Kwame Yasha Allah in a Bible ball.